What's up, guys? This is Wes with Sincity Tactical, and this is the Sincity Tactical Minnesota Overlanders live stream show. So we're going to bring in Jax and Griff. Let's get them up on the screen right now. What's up, guys?
Hey,
what's up, brother?
Another day, another dollar. So, first agenda topic that we're going to get into is going to be our shout outs for the website sincitytactical.xyz or minnesotaoverlander.xyz. Go ahead and check that stuff out. A little bit later on in the show, we're going to go over some store updates. We've got a lot of new products and stuff. Me and Jax will get in a little bit deeper on the store merch. Like, for example, you guys voted and new logo came out. We've got all of them on merch, but this was the primary one. We got hoodies and all that fun stuff going on. So make sure you check that stuff out. Minnesota Overlanders also has a bunch of new products up. So check that stuff out.
Now, there's one alibi to that.
Huh?
I know you didn't schedule a segment in here for this portion of it, but being as we're talking about the website there and the new merch store, you guys obviously know the good old Minnesota Overlanders hoodie that's been on for most of the podcast lately. But Wes over there had go and one up everything and send me a very lovely birthday present. So here goes the unveiling.
Yeah, that's Sincity Tactical. Target shirt, and the one that he has is actually a exclusive. That particular shirt with the white skull background is available. The one that he has where the skull is transparent is a Jax exclusive, so check that stuff out. Unfortunately, the shirt he is wearing, like I said, is an exclusive, but we do have the same shirt with the all-white skull up on the merch store. So we're going to give a couple shout-outs. I would like to start off by saying shout-out to Controlled Pair Munitions. Started working there at that gun store, which we'll talk about a little bit more later on in the live stream show. Griff, go ahead and give some shout-outs if you got it.
well, as usual, I'd like to shout out my good friend George over at G3survival.com. In my opinion, he makes the finest firearm-specific leatherwork on the market, 100% tooled by hand, with designs done up by myself, 100% made in the USA as well. He currently only has products up on the site dealing with firearms, but pretty soon he'll be putting on his patches and every other thing he makes on the site. So feel free to check him out at G3survival.com or his Instagram or Facebook pages, G3Survival.
Awesome. G3 Survival. Check that out, guys. All right. Jax, you got any shout-outs?
Yeah, actually, I know we've been touching on the G3, so I'm going to piggyback on that one, but then I'm also going to go ahead and shout out Matt Best 11X on YouTube. Go ahead and check out that channel. Everybody, at least I would hope, who's been with us now for the last at least couple of podcasts, if you haven't been here the whole time, obviously he's picked up on I've had time in service, and Matt Best himself did time in service as well. So, got to promote our brothers in arms and go on over there, check those guys out. They got some quality content. Matter of fact, tying into that also goes into Black Rifle Coffee. Matt Best not only runs the YouTube channel, but is the major promoter, if not owner, of Black Rifle Coffee Company.
Sweet. Awesome. One more quick shout out. I want to thank Jonna and Michelle for helping me deck out the new office space. Now you see we got the rifles in the back. It's part of the collection. It's not the full collection, but we've got some of the guns out. We got the 100-round drum. I got to learn my directions here. The 100-round drum is up in this area over here. We got some cool guns out. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to touch guns on live stream shows, so you at least get to see them in the background, and of course, Aero Precision. And last shout out, if you are interested, Tac Pack, check them out. Monthly subscription service where you get tactical items. You will see a Tac Pack unboxing for October in this live stream, so stay tuned for that. But we are going to jump into our first topic of the night, and it is Q versus the ATF update. And Griff is going to be heading off that topic. So Q versus ATF update. Take it away, Griff.
All right, so as most, if not everyone, knows from the last podcast, the ATF is trying to go after Q's Honey Badger, Sugar Weasel, and the Fix pistols for not being pistols, but falling under the SBR category. Well, the update is, as of October 9th, the DOJ has issued a stay on this for 60 days while they investigate what's going on and looking deeper into the ATF. This whole thing stemmed from the ATF claiming that the Honey Badger's length of pole was 13 and 9/16 inches, with the maximum you're allowed as on the pistol to be 13.5 inches. Q released the technical SolidWorks drawings in response to this, showing that the actual length of pole is 13.35 inches. Wes, can I have you pull up that photo I sent you earlier?
Yes, give me 1 second
All right.
to get that pulled.
And this photo will demonstrate how screwy the ATF is being. Thank you. So, as we can see from the photo here, it shows the improper measurement the ATF took to determine this supposed 13 and 9/16 inch length of pole. Even though the ATF themselves say that length of pole is measured from the back of the brace or stock, so just imagine putting a nice vertical line there to the middle of the trigger. Put a nice vertical line there, and you measure it. We don't measure on an angle like they did. So, this is purely speculation on my part, but it seems like someone has a burr up their keister, start causing trouble again in the ATF.
That's what it sounds like to me, you know, by looking at that photo. Of course, like you said, you want to measure vertically or horizontally, whatever. You want to go perpendicular with the trigger. Doing a diagonal measurement like you would for a TV is not correct. That's not what we like to see. Yep. So, of course, for me, it feels like that is an agenda item. And by putting in a stay for 60 days, me personally, I feel like they're waiting for the president election to wrap up. And, of course, if Biden gets elected, we've heard all of his comments on getting rid of all of our AR-14s, you know, and all that fun stuff. So I think that's purely agenda-based. Jax, you got any comments?
You know, to be honest with you, brother, I think this is kind of one of those things, like you said, it's kind of agendafied. You know, measuring it the way they did, somebody's got a spur in their fucking boot that it's rubbing them the wrong way. And quite frankly, if it's to stir up trouble just to play into Biden's whole, you know, propaganda shit of getting rid of guns, I'd rather not even pay it any mind, because long story short, at the end of the day, they can fight it all they want. That right there, if it's being held up to actual standards, going to get fucking thrown out.
Absolutely. I mean, and in reality, right, we look at the SBA 3 brace. There isn't adjustable length of pull on that per se. It folds and all that fun stuff. But me and Griff were actually talking about this earlier.
Mhm.
So for it to be considered a pistol brace, it has to be 13 and a half inches or less for length of pull. And of course, by what you saw on that measurement, it looks like it's, well over, obviously. But didn't you say that Q released some documents where they showed their schematics on how it comes up at like 13.35 inches or something?
Yes. So they released a screen capture of their modeling program, SolidWorks, which is used in modeling, CAD, drawing, tool pathing, that sort of deal. And they put a marker right at the stock line, or pardon me, the brace line, and a marker at the trigger line, and did the electronic measurement on the computer, and it came up with 13.35 inches, which last time I checked is less than 13.5.
Absolutely. So, like I said, it comes down to we all feel like this is agenda based, and I guess we'll see how it plays out. But I guess for me, once again, we had this conversation once before. What is the agenda on why? Right? Why are we even having this conversation? If the rifle is no more than 26 inches in length from barrel to buttstock or whatever the case may be, what is the actual purpose of these rules, right? Like, the gun doesn't fire differently because it's shorter. The only thing that really gets changed is velocity and trajectory, right?
Right.
The round is still the same, regardless if it's what it's chambered in, obviously, but the round is still the same. You're just literally shortening the length of the barrel. And if you made an SBR and got a federal tax stamp, it's 100% legal. So for me, I just don't understand what the main issue is, right? I think that's where I'm having my problem.
I think that's where everyone in the community has a problem. These laws make no sense. They're trying to gouge us out $200 each time we want to follow the law, or they want to try and flip these laws to make us all felons, even though we were abiding by the laws to begin with.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. You try to abide by the law, yet they flip it to criminalize you, basically. So that's like saying, oh, yeah, you're 21 years of age, here, have a beer. Oh, but wait a minute. You're not legally drinking it out of the right glass.
Right.
Uh-huh. It's bureaucratic bullshit. I think you're right, Griff, on the fact that it's money hungry. They're trying to just collect every dime that they possibly can from us. And it's
Right.
sad that that's what it's come down to, right? Is the fact that they're just trying to make it so difficult for people to have guns, is what it feels like. They're trying to force it out by taxes and fees and everything else. So like an FFL dealer transfer, right? They range from $25 to all the way up to $60, depending on who you're getting it transferred to, and then you have to pay state tax and if that's applicable to the situation, and it's dumb. And then of course there's the background check fee, which $25 is the standard, at least here in Nevada. If anybody ever tries to charge you more than $25 for a background check here in Nevada, they are robbing you blind, because the law only requires a $25 background check. But then you have the taxes involved, the state tax involved with purchasing the firearm, and right? So the more taxes and fees they add on, I feel, is what's causing this situation, to try to make it harder and harder and harder for us to obtain firearms to begin with.
Right.
So, well, do you feel that wraps up this topic, or you got anything else you want to add?
All I have to say is, here in less than 60 days, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Absolutely. So the next topic, this is a question being answered from the last live stream, which if you weren't a part of the last live stream show, the question that was asked, and we do have somebody who's got some legal knowledge on the topic, has some education in this topic, and I'll let Griff get into that aspect of it. But the question that I asked was, is it legal to take an AR pistol, like the one we have above, and convert it into an SBR, file the federal tax stamps and all that crap, and make it an SBR? But when you purchased it, like the lower and stuff, it was listed as other, so you can build it into a pistol, right? Because it is legal to go from pistol to rifle back to pistol because of how the paperwork was when it was originally bought. Can you do the same thing going from pistol to SBR with tax stamps and all that crap, and then back to a pistol for ease of travel? Because you cannot just go driving from state to state with an SBR, right?
Right.
Pistol you can, depending on the state that you're driving to. Regardless, you have to check reciprocity and all that crap. But we're going to go ahead and let Griff give the answer that was posed to that question.
All right. So when the question was first brought up, I couldn't provide an answer, and I wasn't even going to dare to provide an answer because this can get really murky, and I don't want to be responsible for someone being arrested for taking my advice. And again, this is just information I obtained. Always seek out actual advice from people that get paid to do it, so lawyers, prosecutors, whatever. But I posed the same question to a good friend of mine who was a federal prosecutor for over 20 years, who is now retired. And he says that it might be legal on the federal level, but not so on the state level. Laws can get really murky. And he said, verbatim, word for word, it is virtually impossible for the average person to stay current with these patchwork of laws. The bottom line is, I personally would not alter one of these devices without obtaining advice from a qualified expert, because you don't want to end up being a prohibited person, i.e., someone who can no longer lawfully possess a firearm because of a criminal conviction. So what that breaks down to is, if you want to make an SBR, make an SBR. If you want to make a pistol so you can easily cross state lines, make a pistol that's just like your SBR, but a pistol version. It's better to not... It's best not to jump in the ring with the bull and try and outrun it. Sometimes you might be able to, and sometimes it'll get you.
Absolutely. So, from my understanding of it, once again, like Griff said, not a lawyer. Do not listen to me for legal advice when it comes to this particular situation. As you can tell, I've got AR pistol, then I have an AR, and a bunch of other different types of firearms. For me, build it, keep it as it is. If you are building an SBR, get the proper paperwork for it. Don't just build it and throw a stock on it. You get caught, you don't have the paperwork, felony. Immediately. You lose everything. And hefty jail time from what I understand. So, moral of the story is, if you built it one way and you were legal in building it that way and you want something else, build something else. Don't try to convert one into the other. Jax, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Whatever's going to pretty much cover your own ass and keep you from losing everything and going to jail and then having to pay all the legal fees there on that end, be smart about it. Again, don't, like the other two said, don't take any of our, expert advice on these situations, because, yes, we're experts in our own right to a certain degree. Do we know verbatim every single law that's out there down to the nitty gritty, foreskin and underbone of it? No. But, whatever information we can pull to kind of guide you and help you, figure out your own personal situations, we provide that. In my personal opinion, though, if you're making something and you want to change it out, you're better off just going out and either buying what you really want, or if you want to build it, go and build it, but make sure you have the proper paperwork to go along with it.
Right. Last time I checked, none of us have passed the bar exam, let alone studied law. So
Nope.
that's a fight I have absolutely no skin in the game, or I have no skin in that game. Sorry. So that I'd much rather just be on the safe side with that. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and if you get caught with that felony, the worst part is it's not the jail time. You don't get to keep your guns.
Yep.
You're not getting them back, and you're not buying any more. Which, I guess, enter at your own risk is the only thing that we can specifically say for that topic. But pistol to SBR and back, don't do it. Build a pistol, build an SBR, get the proper paperwork for both of them. Some states require more paperwork to be done, whether it's a pistol or an SBR. In Nevada, you can buy a lower and build it into a pistol, and then build it into a rifle and back. But it has to be 16 inches or longer barrel length to actually make it a rifle. Otherwise, it would still technically just be considered a pistol. But we're going to keep moving. So the next topic, this is a Jack's topic, which he always likes to try to bust my balls with this topic. So we'll see what he does today. This is the CLS training, combat lifesaver training, some medical training. Go ahead.
Indeed. So, this week I'm going to do something a little bit different with it. And I know I like to bust your balls from time to time on it, but obviously, us all being tactically inclined, know what equipment comes inside of a CLS bag, or in layman's terms, your IFAC. So you have items like your cat tourniquet, which we discussed already. You got your combat gauze, your compression bandage. You have a pair of, obviously, combat scissors in standard issue. Otherwise, they're called trauma shears, depending on, medical terminology, however you want to play that out. Then you have things like your sanitary wipes, gauze, and depending on what IFAC you're running, if you're running just the base model like I am, or if you're running a fully elaborate one, you got your nasal pharyngeal gear, your chest seals, and things of that nature. Hell, some of them, depending on how much you spend, may even come with a couple of the good old 20 gauge needles that you're sticking in for a collapsed lung to try to, keep airflow running through your battle buddy. So basically, this week I'm just going over some of the shit that's in your IFAC, and we'll obviously go further into depth on those items here in the future. Now, this is where I'm going to kind of bust your balls, Wes.
Here we go.
Okay, so last time we did a comparison, I believe it was offhand, not online, but we were talking about the shit, that we're running in our packs and shit for IFAC. What all do you have in yours?
So in my IFAC, cat's tourniquet, trauma shears, gauze, chest seals, quick clot, aspirin, like 3-inch bandages, some medical tape, butterfly stitches, those saline or Steriline strips, and basically like it turns into a boo-boo kit at the end.
Okay, so yours would be like kind of a hybrid crossover.
Yep.
Where
I deal with more tummy aches and headaches than gunshot wounds.
Fair enough. And I mean, to be realistic, I need to put together my own boo-boo kit again. So I get it. But on the same side of that, what I'm running in mine right now, and I'm definitely going to have to add more and possibly even pick up a couple more for other things like the good old tactical bag or for the range bag itself. So what I'm running in the current one on my flick, I've got my cat tourniquet, I've got my compression wrap, my combat gauze, some self-adhesive bandage. Then there's your sandy wipes, your whistle, and what else? There's like, yeah, the trauma shears that you were talking about. And then I went ahead and just added a second thing of the self-adhesive bandage. I'm waiting on my shipment of the nasal pharyngeal equipment to throw that in there, and then I'll have to get some 20 gauge needles for restricted airways, and then the good old not compression wrap. I already said that. The fucking chest seals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too far away. I'm listening. I'm trying to grab my IFAC real quick.
Yep, my walk to grab my IFAC would be a little further.
Same.
So, come on.
Anyways, in my IFAC, I run a pair of trauma shears, cat tourniquet, geo gauze, compression bandage, general packing gauze, medical tape, gloves. So really just a blowout kit. Then I also keep a separate smaller kit with your liquid bandage, your quick clot, some zip stitches, regular, not exactly boo-boo kit stuff, but not blowout kit stuff. That weird in between.
Right, and that's fair. But the one thing and this isn't busting either of your balls or anything like that. This is just strictly for our listeners and viewers. As you guys either are going to be listening to this come tomorrow on the Anchor channel or watching here currently right now, you guys just heard all three of us say we're running a cat tourniquet. So there's many reasons why I stand by the cat tourniquet, dealing with my background history in the service. I'm not saying the other tourniquets are bad options, but I would trust my right tenfold to a cat tourniquet over any other.
Absolutely. So, this is, like Griff said, this is a separate IFAC. This isn't the full-blown everything tourniquet carrying case. This is running off of my chest rig when I go shooting and stuff like that. This is a personal like boo-boo kit plus. I call it a boo-boo kit plus because it's got a little bit more in it than your standard boo-boo kit. Trauma shears right off the bat, because if something does happen and I need to get to a wound quickly, I need to open up the clothing or whatever the case may be to get to it.
Yep.
When we open it up, first thing you'll see, gauze, retention clips, medical tape, a bunch of aspirin and alcohol wipes, things of that nature, bigger retention bandages, regular Band-Aids, alcohol wipes, like I said, multiple different bandages, and then some bigger gauze pads, just in case. These are like your 3-inch by 3-inch gauze pads. I keep those in there. Some ibuprofen, some aspirin, some some burn cream, some itch cream, stuff like that. Let's see. What is this? Acetaminophen. Good to have. What else do I got in here? Antiseptic wipes. And then like those little Steriline stitch tape things. So, okay. First of all, You guys can't see the host chat, so I'm putting this shit out there. They're talking about Midol and tampons. That is not in my kit. I'm just going to put that out there. Thank you.
But what if John is out at the range with you?
Right.
She carries her own shit on her own vest. And Midol sometimes is one of them things she be carrying because she gets.
Dad, you always have to have a backup.
Right.
Yeah. You know, she goes from Jonna to Johnny when she needs Midol.
Anyways, let's get back on topic, guys.
Shit later. Thanks, guys.
Yes,
So,
sir.
anyways, individual little IFAC, the Boo Boo kit, plus just a little quick demonstration for what you were talking about. But
Thank you for that, brother.
I like that we're going to be doing this in a series where we'll start breaking down individual items too. I know we've done tourniquets and stuff like that already, but getting into it a little bit deeper will be fun, and that'll span across a lot of the episodes that we do.
Right.
But the next thing that we're going to get into is our tactical gear item. Drum roll, starting with Jax.
All right. Awesome. So this week, guys, I kind of decided to go a little bit off the tactical side and more so into the cozy camper style gear. So basically, what I was thinking is you're out in the woods, right? You know, shit hits fan, and you got to obviously have your food, your water, and your shelter. Okay, basic fucking three things. Obviously, you know, Pro 2A, you already have your firearms, so I'm not even going to add that to the list because it should already be there. Now, your food and your water, hunting, fishing, pulling water and fucking purifying it, those are all great options. Now, when it comes to shelter, instead of doing the whole makeshift shit, they do have a tent out there. And it's actually on Sportsman's Guide. It sleeps up to 6 people comfortably with all your gear. It is the Gear or Guide Gear Deluxe TP tent. It's 14 by 14. So again, sleeps up to 6. It's got a little walkway entrance shaped exactly like a TP. Looks like it has some window flaps as well to it, which is awesome. So matter of fact, while I have the screen, I'm going to go ahead and share this so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. So again, nice little TP tent. Got your walkway in there.
Hold on. I got to share the screen.
It's not a bad price.
Perfect. There we go. All right. So again, it's got your nice little walkway in, so you could even store some extra gear out there in the walkway at night if you had to. And it keeps it out of the elements because it's got the overhang. You got a couple of window flaps there for nice airflow. It's 14 by 14. Now here's the part that I'm going to explain to the listeners and viewers so they're tracking and not thinking that it's this top price here. This top price is for Sportsman's Guide Buyers Club members only. Now, if you are a non-member, you got to pay about an extra $24. But, you know, I mean, realistically, an extra $24, even being a non-member, isn't that bad if you're looking to, you know, have a tent for the whole family if shit hit the fan. Going more into depth with some of the other guide-on pictures here. Got the window covers.
Oh, play the video. There's a video.
Oh, yeah. Yes, there is.
Or not.
Okay.
Oh, it got bigger that time.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
That's what she said.
The traditional body of a teepee, with modern gear vestibule to boot. Camping for the whole crew comes easy with this 14 by 14 tent. fast single-pole setup raises the roof on big space for stretching out. Let your family, camping buds, or scout den sleep with room to spare. Separate porch vestibule has a spot for wet clothes, muddy boots, or for Fido to sleep securely at night. Rain-protected vents at the top and bottom let in fresh breezes and keep air circulating, creating a comfortable, restful oasis to get away from it all. Don't plan your next trip without this deluxe teepee tent in your pack. Order now.
Okay,
So,
that was
again,
cool.
Not getting paid. Again, not getting any kickback from these guys. Just using this to show you the gear and do what you want with it. And, but it definitely, for being a decent tent, that's what I've been looking for the last few years myself. And coming across that, especially, for instance, I've been thinking about going hunting that with a coworker, possibly next hunting season. So that'd be great to have, especially if we didn't have a cabin to stay at or something. We could definitely throw that up and be good to go for the entire week out in the back 40s.
Sweet. All right, Mr. Griff, moving on to you.
All right, I'm going to piggyback off of last podcast where I talked about a good utility knife. And my tactical gear, I can't really say is gear, but learning how to properly hand sharpen your knife. Now, we've all seen the electronic knife sharpeners where you press a button, gets the stone spinning, put the knife in, pull it out a couple times, call it good. Or the ones where you take your knife and you clamp it up in this jig and you run the stone back and forth at it. Those are great if you're sharpening at a specific angle. Unfortunately, lots of knives are ground differently and have different angles to them. If you learn how to properly hand sharpen off of a whetstone, it doesn't matter then. Like, an example I like to use is those really nice fancy kitchen knife sharpeners that are electronic. Those work fine on chef's knives. But you use your utility knife that has a shallower angle, it's going to completely wreck the blade. I personally use a whetstone. I think I paid like $30-$40 for it online, double-sided. It gets the job done, and it, in my opinion, actually gets done faster now that I have the skill set to use it. So I would highly recommend just picking up a cheap whetstone and get a small handful of cheap knives I'm pretty sure all of us have laying around, and just take 5 minutes out of a couple of days to learn a good skill. It goes a long way.
Absolutely. So to piggyback off that a little bit, once you do get the whetstone, don't force your angle, don't force your edge, and when you sharpen, you have to go to the tip. Otherwise, you're going to wreck your blade. Yeah. Please, I stress this. I can't tell you how many times on my day-to-day job, which we've all discussed, we're going to try to leave day-to-day jobs out of this. But in my particular field, knives are used a lot, and dudes slip and cut themselves or stab themselves. A blunt object can still stab you and hurt really bad. If you don't have a nice sharp blade, you're not being safe. That's just fact. And if you destroy the edge of your blade, you might as well just throw it away, because recovering from it is shitty and takes hours. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Practice, like you said, cheap blades. Don't force it, right? Let the blade do its thing. So thank you for that. I'm going to move into my tactical gear stuff. It is a 4-piece set. Okay. This is called Breakthrough, it is gun cleaning accessories. It's important. You have to clean your guns. If you don't clean them, they're not going to operate correctly. They're not going to run efficiently. You can have malfunctions. You can make a situation that should be safe and fun and make it a dangerous situation by having these malfunctions. Oh, I said a 4-piece. Patches, right? So we're going to start with the first item, which this is a little bottle. They make big ones. It's called Breakthrough is the brand, or Battleborn Breakthrough. That's how you can look it up. This is a military grade solvent. This is like your CLP. It's going to break down the carbon and stuff like that off of your gun to help you clean it. Then, of course, you go into your patches. This just so happens to be Allen. And like Jack said, none of us are being paid for any of these. These are just product reviews, basically. 200 patches for like $4. And they're decent sized patches. They're 3-inch patches. They're not the small ones because I'm doing a lot more like rifles and stuff like that. Then after you start wiping everything down, you can go through the Battleborn high purity oil. This is to help lubricate the gun. But my favorite piece of this kit, and they usually do come in a kit, is the Battleborn Breakthrough high temp grease. I like using grease more than the oil because this will stay where I want it. So it's not going to like run through the whole gun and then I got to sit there and wipe up oil on the outside of the receiver or anything like that. Grease is good for your BCG. It's good for your slide. It's good for your charging handle if you're using it on a pistol. That's what I meant by slide. It's not going to disperse all over the whole firearm and make it slippery or anything like that. I like to use the oil on the inside, like trigger components, stuff like that, springs, but primarily I use the grease. And of course, if you don't know, and crap, I can't touch a gun on a live stream, so I'm just going to explain it. Doing battlefield lubrication is important. Sometimes if you forgot to clean your gun or something like that, there's ways you can do this. You drop your magazine, of course, clear it safe, make sure everything's cleared and safe. Flip your rifle over, drop some oil down through the mag well onto your BCG, rack it a couple times to get it moving, drop a couple more drops of oil down there. It's going to make your gun messy, but at least it gets you back in the action when you're practicing at the range. Because I can't tell you how many times I've seen people ruin their experience by going shooting because they have a dirty gun and it's giving them a failure to feed, or the BCG won't completely engage and they're having to smash on their forward assist. It's just not worth it. Shoot your guns, come home, clean them. You should dedicate time to that. Whenever you go shooting, clean your guns. Then it's ready for the next time you go to shoot. So I'm going to stop on my little rant there. Battleborn Breakthrough oil, solvent, grease, and get you some good patches. Like I said, patches are cheap. Do any of you guys got anything? It looks like Mr. Griff wanted to piggyback off of that, and then I think Jax wanted to piggyback off that as well. Take it away, Griff.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I absolutely agree. Cleaning is very important. Unless you own an AK, I haven't cleaned mine in about a decade, but that's besides the point. But I actually don't use grease as my lubricant. I've honestly dedicated about 5 years of my life to finding out, for me, the best lubricant. I've tried hoppies, I've tried greases, tried engine oil. And the thing that I found works out best for me is engine assembly lube. It honestly, and I'm not kidding, it's like KY jelly. It's very tacky, very adhesive, but extremely slick. A little goes a long way, and I can usually pick up a 12-ounce bottle for about $8.
See, and that's why I like this grease. I've tried other greases and other lubes as well, or oil for the guns. This is the only one that seems like it stays thick and tacky, but as soon as you start making any motions with it, is super, super slippery and allows all the parts to run properly. This has actually made some of my components run quieter. And what I mean by quieter is like when you do that charging handle action, the whoosh, whoosh noise has been reduced a lot by using this. I also like to put this on my buffer tube spring, on my buffer spring, and that helps with that as well. So
Wes,
we'll check it out.
knowing your day job, would you say it's similar to like lithium grease and its properties? How it's real
Right.
thick, then it gets really thin and lubricous, I suppose is the word.
Right.
Okay, neat.
Yeah, it's nice. Well, actually, here I'll just kind of looks like lip balm, I guess.
Okay.
Tiger Balm.
So you
That's
can
what I'd
kind of
compare it to.
see there's a little dab on my finger there. Once I start, see how it's still staying in shape. It's not getting all beat up. So I can do that a bunch of times, and it'll stay. And then once I rub it in, see how my fingers started like getting friction.
Yeah.
So it makes it tacky, but it'll make it run nice and smooth. So I'll probably send you a bottle of this, Griff, so you can give it a try. And, so then I'm not being biased. You can test it out, see what you think about it.
And I'll send you a bottle of my engine assembly lube.
Yeah. We'll have to swap some stuff out.
The great lube showdown.
Go ahead.
Right. Well, yeah, I've always been kind of partial to the CLP, but that's because of my time in the Army. That's pretty much all we use to clean weapons. And I agree the pad thing is a plus, but not just the pads. I personally like to take a small shop rag and cut that in half. And when you first pull, the firearm apart, go ahead and just get that top layer of carbon off as best you can with that. And then whatever's stuck on, just spray it down with some CLP. Take, your cleaning kit. Use a couple of tool pieces out of there to kind of scrape some of the carbon off around the hard to reach areas. Do the cleaning that way. Hit it down with CLP again. Take your Q-tips, your pads, then throw it all back together.
Absolutely. So there you go, guys. There's 3 different opinions on cleaning. I think that was a good topic to bring up, especially when it comes to the tactical gear stuff. Cleaning is very important, and I believe any military operator, anybody who is serious about firing firearms will tell you keeping them clean and lubricated properly is the go-to thing. It's the most important.
Indeed.
Yes.
Griff?
Agreed.
Time after Jax finishes.
Yep.
What does that mean?
We should probably be moving on to the next topic.
Gotcha. Yep. I'm on the same page. So this is a Jax topic here, and we're going to let him take that over.
Indeed. All right. So I know we've touched on this a few times throughout the podcast. However, the Minnesota police officer from Minneapolis, Derek Chauvin, who was involved with the death of George Floyd, the judges just decided that they were going to drop the third-degree murder charges against him. However, there is still other charges pending. Now, the governor of Minnesota decided he was going to reinstate the National Guard. Obviously, I could see why he's worried about the same thing I think we all are with those charges being dropped. He's worried about rioting, firing back up, more looting, breaking in. And, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. How is it that, if a civilian were to do some shit like that, they'd go to jail 25 to life? But if a, Minneapolis police officer does it, has it on video, It's clear evidence. Goes in front of a judge, and the judge goes, well, we're going to drop this third-degree murder charge.
Well, for me, it's one of those things where I back the blue. I ain't afraid to say that shit.
Yeah.
I back the blue all day long because 95% of them I would consider good, law-abiding cops that are literally and legitimately out here to do their job to the best of their ability and to keep all of us safe. You have that 5%, though, right? In this particular instance, I feel like the government is trying to back the blue and make a statement by doing this. Now, we've touched on this topic a couple times in previous podcasts. The full story and the full video of the George Floyd situation has not been fully 100% released. The only way that we're going to have irrefutable proof of what actually happened during that call is to have start to finish body cam footage from Mr. Chauvin directly. That is the only way we're going to know 1,000% was the man in the right or in the wrong, right? So if we don't have it from the time that that officer showed up on scene and the time that George Floyd was deceased, how are we all really going to know what exactly happened, right? So spoke to my uncle earlier, and he was talking with some people at work, and there's you can seek out information, but it's still not the full scope of everything, where they say that George Floyd, now this is not coming out of my mouth, I am repeating what was said to me. There was things that had happened that was not shown through the media outlets that should have been, and George Floyd supposedly or allegedly was creating a bunch of issues before any physical altercation stuff had taken place. Now, I cannot speak on that because I have not watched full extensive clips on everything, but this is things that I'm hearing. I, once again, still think we all agree knee on the neck is a no-go. You don't do that. Could it have been handled better? Absolutely. Griff, you look like you got something that you're thinking.
Oh, no, I was just completely agreeing with everything you were saying. I do believe that there is a lot of information we are missing, and there is a lot of information being manipulated, not only by the media, but possibly by the courts themselves, which I don't want to say it's manipulation in the court, but I believe while this case is going on, they need to keep that information private until a ruling is passed and then release it all.
No,
and,
and
and lastly, the biggest point I want to drive home is if people acted like adults and waited for these court proceedings to finish before they started casting their opinions and throwing stones, we wouldn't have been having these riots, these National Guard activations. These are big temper tantrums at the first sight. It's a complete knee-jerk reaction.
Absolutely. I think it's agenda-based and it's political, unfortunately, but we're going to let Jax speak on this as well.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you guys are saying, and I'll fucking say it too, because this is kind of one of those channels, and I know we kind of monitored some of the shit we say, but I'm gonna come out and say it. I don't give a fuck. I back the blue myself. However, my whole thing with that scenario is, if you're gonna be that 5% of the police force that just really doesn't give a fuck, realize and understand that you're painting that picture for the entirety of the police force. You're not just painting the picture of yourself. You go out and do something stupid, that not only reflects on yourself, but on your department.
Absolutely. You're guilty by association. That's always been a thing. You can be the best, most outstanding person in the world, but if your partner is a complete scumbag and they get caught being a scumbag, you've now been associated as being a scumbag regardless, right? But I think it's agenda based, and unfortunately, it's all happening right around election time. Should the officer have gotten third-degree murder charges dropped, we're going to leave that to the viewers. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think, how you feel, and we'd love to bring it up in the next live stream. If this is something that you guys want to dig into more, especially we're going to do updates on this as well as, of course, as more information comes out. We're not a news breaking outlet. We only discuss what has already been released. And to the best of our ability, we try to keep it as factual as possible from our own sources. And 99% of this stuff is being pulled from sources. So we're going to move on to the next topic. Thank you for that one. I think that was important for us to talk about. So this one's going to be a little lengthy one here. This is a TAC Pack unboxing for October. All right. So
I'm ready when you are.
Mr. Griff also subscribed to the TAC Pack service, so he received the same package that I did. I'm going to go into a solo screen here so we can get into this unboxing. Let me grab it. Okay. So, TAC Pack, that's how the box comes. It says TAC Pack, all that fun stuff on it. But we're going to get into it. So, in September's box on the card, which I'll hold this up and you guys can pause it and read it if you like, gives you all the information on the stuff that's in the box, and then the November hint. Well, the September box's card, its hint said something along of AR, take a break, right? So we all kind of guessed, me and Griff guessed that it was going to be a break. I think Jax was on the same page as us with that. The paper, we'll get rid of that shit. Okay, so the first item that I want to pull out of the box here, they sent us about 10 targets where you can go ahead and pull the little circles and patch up your targets if you need to. I may or may not use that. I like steel personally. The next item that we're going to get into, which kind of goes off of Mr. Griff's tactical gear item conversation, or topic piece, I should say. We all know what white boxes when they get pulled apart is. They sent us out another knife. This is American Buffalo. It is D2 steel. Me and Griff both liked the shape and profile of that blade and how it was designed. It's pretty sharp to the touch. I'm not really feeling the color of it myself. Griff likes the color. I think I like more or less the spring-loaded aspect of it, and then the length of the actual blade itself. So that's cool. They sent us another knife in one of the other boxes that they had sent out. They tend to like to send out some knives. They sent us out the CRKT little clinch pick, which this has become an EDC item for me. I carry it every day. But we're going to move on to the next item here. They sent out a personalized TAC Pack dry bag. May or may not find a way to use that. I live in a desert. It hasn't rained here in 183 days. The next item that is in here is a discount code card for Rex Silentium, whatever, Silentum, whatever the hell it is. Here's a little picture of the back. This goes with the AR item that they made the hint on. So, as you can see, this is a muzzle brake device. We're going to go ahead and open this up. Now, me and Griff discussed this a little bit earlier off camera. It is for 223.556. Oh, yeah, the side angle view. It kind of looks like a Barrett 50 cal type of brake, which is pretty nice. I mean, I'm probably going to throw it on that AR pistol that's right here. I'll have to take the can off of that to be able to run this. But I'm going to put that on, try it out, see what exactly it's going to do for us. It says that it's supposed to make it quiet, a lot quieter, which I'll be shocked if it actually does that with the amount of gas that thing is going to throw. Where did I just put the top of this? Because that had some information on it. Relentlessly quiet. We'll see. We're going to test that out. I will do a actual product review video for that, where we're shooting it. So that was the Tac Pack for October, and I will read the hint for November. We are finishing out the year with even more big value pieces. More American-made AR gear. One item coming up is worth $80 alone, plus an awesome American-made item incoming for your sidearm. Lots of good stuff coming. Plus, the 4th annual Christmas pack is now available for pre-order. It's a $300 MSRP and 10 items in total. Enough said. Okay, so that's cool. The next box should be pretty dope. I like it, the Tac Pack service. So if you're interested in the Tac Pack, use my code SC Tactical. It'll get you a free mystery grab bag. Griff did receive his, and I'm going to let him speak on the mystery grab bag a little bit.
So the mystery grab bag I received contained a SOG key knife, one of those tiny little key-shaped folding knives you can stick right in your key ring, a roll of shooter's tape that consists of 1 MOA squares. That'll be great when I want to get long distance and try and really hit those shots nice and precise. And I received one of those Mac 11 air fresheners from last month's grab bag that honestly smelled so poorly. It's now sitting in the bottom of my garbage can, so I don't have to smell rotten garbage.
Absolutely. Yeah, I I personally did not like the smell of the Mac 10 air freshener myself. So what I did as a joke is I opened it, put it in Jonna's mom's bedroom, hung it from her lamp for about 2-3 hours before she got home, and hoped and prayed that I didn't get yelled at, smacked, and everything else when she got home. Fortunately, I don't think she realized where the smell was coming from right away until I told her the next day. And yeah, fun stuff. So
mean.
I am going to comment this, and then I'm going to let Jax talk here in a second. So this muzzle brake, I think you're correct. It may make things quieter, but I could only imagine the fireball that's going to come out of this shit, right? My AR pistol, 11.5-inch barrel, fucking fireballs all day long, right? Unless you have that can on it. It's going to throw fireballs. So hopefully, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Jax, go ahead.
Yeah, you know, and that's what I was basically trying to hint at. You know, silence things, but, you know, if it does give that flash, you know, if you're running it on a range situation, great. But if you're going to try to run it in a tactical situation and you don't want anybody knowing your location, kind of a toss up in between whether you just want to keep your original can on there or if you want to put that flash hider on.
Well, the can is going back on for sure. The can is definitely going back on for sure after this. So I'm going to test it out, see what it does. We'll make a video on it, product review. If I like it, we might put it on one of the other ARs. I've got an AR I could put it on, Smith & Wesson AR. maybe it'll end up on that one. We'll see what happens. But all right, as far as I know, Mr. Griff is going to sign off with us. Thank you, Griff, for hanging out and being part of the show. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
Yep.
Have a good night, brother.
See ya.
All right, now it's down to 2.
Indeed.
Me and you, buddy.
Just bear with me 1 second here. TACX just emailed me back again.
There you go. What'd they say?
So they were asking if they could get the link to my YouTube channel so they can check out some of the content over there.
Sweet. So to speak on that a little bit, this is going to be a little bit of a shout out segment. So Sincity Tactical has now become part of the affiliate program for the NCCA, the National Concealed Carry Association. And through the National Concealed Carry Association, what I'm able to offer you, which I'll put a link in the description below, it'll get you 10% off of tacxprogear.com, which is a bunch of different gear between magazines, sights, scopes, ammo, stuff like that. And then you can also buy things directly from the National Concealed Carry Association's website. Go ahead and check that out. The link will be in the description below. You'll get 10% off from using my code. It is ncca.ref.sincitytactical. That is the link that you type in. I'm going to put it in the description below so you guys can check that out. And from what it sounds like, the Minnesota Overlanders will also be getting a sponsorship from them, and hopefully we'll have their code up and running
Well,
soon.
actually, brother, I do have a link already, it looks like, from the National Concealed Carry Association.
Okay.
So that link itself is http
Semicolon.
/NCCA.refr.cc/Deadman Inc. Airsoft.
All right, cool. Well, once we get that all built up, we'll get it changed over to where it says Minnesota Overlanders on it, so you can go through directly for them. That will be supporting the channel directly, whether you use the Sincity Tactical link or the Minnesota Overlanders link, which once we get that up and running, that'll also be dropped in the description box below. So that was a good shout out on that. Good to know. So the next topic, working at a gun store. So recently I started working for Controlled Pair Munitions, partially because we got bills to pay out here, and partially because I was trying to get better inside content for you guys at home. It is a local gun shop out in Las Vegas, Nevada. You can find it between Cheyenne and Buffalo, and Cheyenne and the 95. That would be the major cross streets, what you'd be looking for. It's Suite 106. And big store, we just moved into that one, that location. It's 2.5 times the original size from the first store. We got a bunch of guns in stock. We've got 9mm hollow points in stock, thousands of rounds for that. We got 45 ACP, 38 special, 40, the Smith & Wesson 40. We've got 7.62 by 39 and 7.62 by 54. So we've got ammo, we've got pistols, we've got rifles, we've got shotguns. Come check us out. We also dabble in gunsmithing and Cerakoting your firearms. So if you stop by the gun store Controlled Pair Munitions, you can Google that, and you walk in, you happen to see me. I'm there on Sundays or Mondays. Make sure that you got the information from the live stream show, and I'll make sure I do something special for you while you're there. And we greatly appreciate your time. Come check it out. But moving into the actual topic at working at a gun store, the biggest thing is the etiquette of people that come in. So personally, being a gun store fanatic, I guess is a good word. I like going to the gun store. I like talking to the guys in the store. I like purchasing firearms. Clearly, as you see behind me, it's a hobby, right? What I didn't notice is what actually happens when you're behind the counter, right? So when you clear a gun safe and you hand it to somebody, don't sweep the clerk. That is terrifying. I don't care if I just pulled the gun out of the cabinet, cleared it safe myself, and handed it to you. Don't just rack back the slide and then point it directly at me. That's does not make me feel confident in the fact of selling you a firearm. If you're so easily and willing to sweep me, what are you going to do when you're at home and there's nobody there to go, hey, don't do that, right? So it's very important that, all right, saying bye to Michelle real quick. She's on her way out. She's jumping in the live stream. Anyways, so bye, Michelle. We'll catch you later.
Yep.
Oh, we do have a question. The Mac 10 air freshener that I secretly snuck into your room from the tac pack, what'd you end up doing with it?
Hung it up on my lap.
Oh, so you kept it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, she kept
it. She must have liked the smell or something.
She must have liked the smell, I guess. So, well, there you go. That answers that question. And then she said that the smell didn't last very long anyways. But back to the topic at hand. Don't sweep the gun store clerk. It's not safe. Doesn't make us have confidence in the fact that you know what you're doing for us to want to even sell you the gun to begin with. And thirdly, don't point it at other customers in the store. Don't point it at the gun store clerk. Aim it in a safe direction and do not walk away from the counter with the gun. Period. Go ahead, Jack.
I'll piggyback off that for a minute. Okay. So, I mean, this is kind of sort of similar to what you're talking about, but you know, I mean, I've seen it many a times throughout my time in service where we'd be, you know, on an annual training mission and we'd be issuing out weapons. You'd get the new incoming soldiers that would get to the unit, you know, granted, fresh out of basic and AIT, so this shit should be fresh in their mind, discipline and training. But I've even seen guys walk up to supply to go get their M4 or their 240 or their 247, and they'll go to clear it and read off the serial number, and in the process of clearing it and then flipping it to read the serial number, they will be flagging all of their battle buddies, including the supply NCO. And now, granted, that, like you said, in your situation and in that situation, there's no rounds in the firearm. However, what is the first rule of firearm safety?
Point the gun in a safe direction at all times.
Well, there's that, but always treat a firearm as if it was loaded, even if it's not.
Well, see, for me, that's so ingrained. Every gun is loaded regardless.
Yeah.
I don't care if I checked it 7 times and I know there's no bullets in it. You treat it as if it's loaded. So for me, you always point it in a safe direction. You keep your finger off the trigger. You treat the gun like it's loaded at all times, regardless if you've checked it. That's how you prevent
negligent
discharges or anything like that. You're not shooting your buddy. You're not shooting your kids. You're not shooting yourself. You're being safe. Guns, yes, we talk about them on this channel all the time. We're a Pro 2A channel. And yes, the way we talk about them like they sound like they're toys. They are in an extent, but you don't treat it as such. You treat it like a deadly weapon because that is what it is. It is a tool, but it can also create havoc immediately. So you have to just be safe at all times. You don't sweep people. You point a gun in a safe direction. You keep your finger off the trigger at all times. Always treat it like it's loaded, and you'll be safe. Me personally, I just recently got my range safety officer certificate done, and some various other training and certificates done. And it's very important to always be safe. So enough on that topic. But I am working at a gun store now. I'm going to try to get some more interviews going with the owner of the store. I'm going to try to get some footage inside the store. So if you happen to be following me on Facebook, I'm going to do some Facebook Lives from inside the store with coworkers, walk around, show you guys what we got going on. And then I'm also going to be helping Controlled Pair Munitions get their YouTube channel started up as well. That will have weekly updates on what's new in the store, what we're offering at that time, and things along that nature. You got anything else to add, Jax?
Obviously I'll keep up to date on that too with you and touch base offline. But once you guys get that up and running, let me know. I'll go ahead and shout those guys out too on my own personal channel when we're not on Sincity Tacticals.
Absolutely. Which I did want to talk about that a little bit. When are we going to do another live stream on the Minnesota Overlanders page? And then, before you answer that question, I still want to get on your siblings' channels. I like the murder mystery stories and all that. I want to be involved somehow. I want to help them grow their channel. I want to get involved.
Yeah. Matter of fact, so my younger brother, and I know it's totally off of our podcast topic, but he did contact me asking me to guest on his again. He didn't touch base with me today like he was supposed to, so I don't know quite what was going on today. But once I get all that figured out and can set it up with him, I will see if there's a way that I can add you into the Anchor podcast portion of it as well, so you can get up on his channel with us as well. Now, as far as my channel goes, definitely I think sometime here this upcoming week, we'll do a exclusive to the YouTube and Facebook page channels and save the last episode of season 1 on the Anchor podcast channel and the rest of the other podcast platforms out for next Saturday here on Sincity Tactical. And the reason I'm doing that, I know me and you talked about it offline, but for everybody else watching and listening, we're doing that because we figure, all right, yes, we have pretty much every platform going on right now that we can possibly run between the three of us going.
Absolutely.
And on the Anchor app, it allows me to decide how many episodes are per season and how many seasons there are. I get to punch in a physical number for all of this. And me and Wes were talking offline. We figure per season, you're going to get about 30 episodes. So whether it's a podcast on Wes's channel like it is tonight, or it's on my channel, or it's just a exclusive to the Anchor podcast or an exclusive here, whatever that scenario ends up being, each season on the audio platforms, you're going to get 30 episodes, and then there's going to be a week break in between that. So this way we can not only come up with more quality content, but spend a little bit of quality time with our loved ones, but also have team meetings between the three of us, including Wes, because I like to get his input on some of the stuff that me and Griff have light up the light bulb moment and want to bring to the table for you guys content-wise.
Absolutely. So I want to jump back to a topic that we had earlier in the night, the Q versus the ATF, right? So once again, like I stated, I can't legally hold a firearm in a live stream, but I can talk about it and I can point at it. So right above my head, the FDE colored firearm there is an AR-15 pistol. With that SBA-3 brace on it, it does have adjustable length of pull. The whole Q versus ATF with the honey badger and screaming squirrel or whatever the hell it's called, sugar weasel, whatever, right? That picture, I'm going to pull that picture back up because I think that's important and I want it to be brought up in the public platform here. We're going to go ahead and show this. So once again, as you can see, they're measuring this like they're measuring a TV. They're going diagonally. What you should be doing is measuring from the buttstock to equal with the trigger on the upper receiver. That is how you're actually going to measure your length of pull. And like Griff stated before, Q released their schematics on the firearm with the adjustable length of pull on that pistol brace. And technically it comes in at 13.35 inches, which is below the 13.5 legal limit before it turns it into an SBR. So once again, this looks like it is agenda-based and political. And, of course, the 60-day stay that has been put in place through the motion to deal with this at a later date is somebody in the ATF getting a stick up their ass and wanting to wait and see if Biden gets elected, is my opinion. And if Biden gets elected, you already know what he wants to do. He wants to can the AR-14s, get rid of all the AR-14s, which seriously upsets me when politicians go to talk about firearms, right, and they don't have their facts straight. AR-14, not a thing. AR-10, yes. AR-15, yes. M16, yes. M4, 416. These are firearms, right? Not AR-14. AR doesn't stand for assault rifle, stands for Armalite. We've discussed that in multiple podcasts and multiple live stream shows. But the biggest thing is, look at this janky ass measurement. And can I even zoom in on this? I have no idea. But no, I can't.
If you hit Control Plus.
Yeah, but it's not going to do it on the live stream like the picture I have on the live stream. If you look at it here, it's coming at 13 and 9/16 of an inch, right? So just past that 13.5 mark. If you take the tape measure and go straight up, it will be significantly less than that 13.5 mark. So it's just crazy to me that when we talk about this, that it's even actually becoming an issue, right? They're trying to shut down a business because of a proprietary stabilizing brace. Yes, the brace can be adjusted. Yes, it looks scary because of how it is, right? Moving in and out, and it's got these bars coming off it, and it's got Velcro. That's terrifying, Velcro, right?
Anything black and firearm related is scary.
Right. But when you look at a black Remington 700 that your grandpa keeps, you look at it as a hunting rifle. First of all, let's get into this topic a little bit more in detail. I'm going to take this picture off the screen. Let's talk about it, right? When you talk about your grandfather's Remington 700, 308, okay,
yep,
which is a bigger round in diameter, length, and everything else, can cause way more bodily harm than a 5.56 or 2.23, which, this irritates me so much. .22 is a 22 round. That is tiny, right? Tiny.
Yep.
A .223, which is what comes out of these, is slightly, I'm talking, you have to put calipers on it to really see that there's a major difference in the tip of the round, right? So you're trying to tell me, okay, that a Remington 700, brown, black, yellow, green, don't give a shit, is not scarier than a fucking AR, right? The AR shoots a round that is small. It just has a big casing. Why? The powder in it to get the velocity and the trajectory that you're trying to hit. That is the only thing.
You know why they're doing that, though, right? Because the AR-15 has a 30-round magazine clip and it shoots up to 120 rounds per second.
Motherfuckers, don't go there with me right now. Oh, my goodness. So the politician, I don't know who his name was. He's a dumbass. That's what I'm going to say right now. Complete dumbass. This AR-14 has a 30-round magazine and shoots 100 rounds per second. What the fuck? First of all, listen to what you just said. 30-round clip. 100 rounds per second. Not possible. Okay? Not possible.
First of all, let's start with the clip. It's not a clip. It is a fucking magazine.
It is a magazine. Oh my goodness. That irritates me so much. My uncle will tell you the same thing. He gets irritated just like I do if you say clip. It is not a goddamn clip. You know what is a clip? Right here. I'll show you. That is a clip. That's a clip. Magazine. Clip.
Hey, honey, I got a clip too.
Is that a lighter leash?
Yep.
What color is your lighter?
Right now, I got my purple one that I had in the armrest of the fucking car.
Pretty close. But anyways, back to the point. The 223 round is small. The 5.56, even though it sounds like it's bigger, it's not. It's the NATO round. My point is 308, 30-30, whatever. 30-06. All of these rounds, way bigger, way more powerful, way more damage can be done, and none of these shoot fully automatic. None of them. All right? You want to talk about what does shoot fully automatic? M16, M4, military rifle.
I'm going to stop you for a minute. The M4 shoots 3-round burst. They do not have a full auto.
Okay, whatever, right? One trigger pull, whether it's round burst, fully automatic, an AR does not have that capability. It does not do it. There's nothing you could physically alter on your AR without adding components to make it a fully automatic. Does not operate like that. Will not operate like that. And whoever came up with the, oh, I'm going to shave my firing pin because it'll make it fucking fully automatic, you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
You shave your firing pin, it's not going to fire. Period. That's what it is. And it irritates me that people, I get it. If you don't like guns, I get it. I do not blame you for that. You don't like them, you have your reasoning. I am not trying to convince you to like guns. But what I am trying to tell you to do is to look at it from a different perspective. Not from the physical aspect of the gun, but me as a law-abiding citizen, and it is my constitutional right to bear arms, right? It was put into the fucking rules from day one, right? It's been there. It is a law. No, it's not for your grandpa's fucking musket. It ain't none of that shit. What it does come down to is I've done proper training, CCW, RSO training, fucking NRA instructing fucking training, and everything else to be safe for the firearm. Do I agree that more training should be done before a first-time gun buyer should be able to buy a gun? Absolutely. I agree with you. Should mental health checks be done? Absolutely. I agree with you. 1,000%. I don't want guns going into the wrong hands either. But taking my guns from me does not make the world a safer place. Because guess what? Fucking gangbanger down the street don't give a shit. Oh my God. I just had a light bulb moment. Let's make owning guns illegal for felons. Whoa! Fucking amazing. That's already a goddamn law.
Yeah.
And they don't listen to it now. What makes you think they're going to fucking listen to it? Just because you're doing a buyback program does not do anything. They're not going to fucking... Look, this is what a buyback program is. I'm sorry, I'm getting heated because this shit upsets me. A buyback program, what are you doing? Gangbangers are going to turn in guns that are broken, don't fucking work. You're going to give them $50. They're going to then take that $50 and they're going to apply it with other money they have and buy a new fucking working gun.
Yep.
Buyback programs are fucking stupid. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. The criminals are still going to be criminals. They're going to have guns. You take my shit from me, the government is now 1,000% in control and is going to fucking turn tyrannical. Period.
Oh, yeah,
Game over. Sorry.
No, and I mean, I don't disagree with you. You know, I mean, it's kind of like we've talked about before. You know, especially if Biden gets elected, we already know what he wants to do with the whole fucking, you know, I'll fight the NRA again line of fucking crack of shit. Because at the end of the day, Second Amendment, what's the very last sentence of that amendment?
Which one again? Sorry, I'm fucking upset.
The very last line of the Second Amendment. What are those last few words?
Well-regulated militia.
Nope, the last few, at very end.
Enlighten us all.
Shall not be infringed.
Yeah, fuck yeah. That shit was a directive. It was a directive. It was not a fucking what's the word that I'm looking for?
Basically, to sum it up, what it was saying is it's not open for fucking discussion. You're not taking.
Right. Oh, it's not
Or-
a privilege. It was a fucking directive.
Yeah.
No, this is not to be fucked with. That's what shall not infringe upon means. That the government cannot fucking take your shit. That is what it is. That was in the goddamn
Constitution.
bro. Good point. Good point. That's exactly what it is. Shall not be infringed upon. You cannot take my guns. Period. Unless I commit a fucking crime.
Felony.
If I commit a crime, by all means, take my guns. Guess what? Not a dumbass. Like my guns. Like my freedom. Don't want to fucking deal with that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Sorry if there's any kids watching. I know I should be filtering myself right now. I apologize for that. This is just very near and dear to my heart, and it upsets me. So I'm speaking as real as you can possibly get right now.
You're speaking as the angry American.
Which I am.
And so am I.
I just
I mean,
want to live my life.
Exactly. All three of us that are basically, okay, yes, everybody that's been around for a while knows where Minnesota Overlanders came from. It came from the overall big umbrella of the lovely Sincity Tactical. If it wasn't for my brother Wes, Minnesota Overlanders probably wouldn't be here. I'd still be fucking around trying to figure out what the hell my shit was going to be about. Bottom line is, when it comes down to it, all three of us being the bigger portion of the round family table of this brand are all gun-loving pro-Second Amendment Americans. And you know what? I'm going to put myself on blast here because I know Grip did it before the podcast even started when we were offline.
No, we're not going there. I refuse. We ain't going there. Negative.
Negative.
Negative. We're not going there. That is not a topic no. Mm-mm. But we are going to bring a special guest into this live stream right now. She is sitting in this room currently and with AirPods in, so let me get her attention. Got it! See how that works? Come here. Please. We're bringing Jonna into the live stream. Because, and this is why. Now, like I said, she's been in the room the whole time, has had AirPods in, has not heard the discussion. You heard I had to yell to get her attention. Now go ahead, get in this live stream. Take a seat. Move the guitar here. Okay.
First of all, Marine Corps.
First of all,
crayons.
wanted to go into the Marine Corps out of high school. Heart condition, can't do it.
I understand that, but are you feeding her color crayons?
Yes, I am. We're front lines, bro. Anyways, so because she has not been involved, does not know the topics at hand, we're going to touch on something.
Nope. No, I'm not sure what happened, guys. Just bear with us a minute. you.
Let me get okay. Can you hear and see me now?
No, I can't. I take it we're offline.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Me either. Say, I'm gonna bring you with me on a quick field trip and take a piss and then top off the beer before we get back into it.
Well, technically, we're still live right now. So I'm going to keep asking John my questions. You go ahead and do that, and I'll see you when you come back in.
Dragon.
So, John, just in case if that did not go through on the live stream side of things, when we went shooting for the first time, how did you feel?
I was scared because I've never shot a pistol or a rifle before.
Are you going to cry?
No.
She looks like she's going to cry, people.
No.
Okay. So when we went shooting for your first time, was it indoors or outdoors?
Indoors.
Okay. How did shooting indoors make you feel?
It made me feel kind of scared because there was a lot of people around me.
Okay. What about the noise?
I jumped. It was loud and I jumped.
So was that because of the guns that we were shooting, or all the other guns going off around you as well?
All the other guns around me as well.
Okay, so you would say, being at that time a first-time shooter, that your fear was escalated because of the environment we were in?
Yes.
Okay. So being scared because you're a first-time shooter, it was an indoor range, and I learned from that personally. I had been to a numerous amount of indoor ranges. I've been shooting multiple times. Don't jump when I go to indoor ranges. I'm not in fear when I go to an indoor range. So I want that to be a lesson for people who are going to be taking first-time shooters, especially younger shooters or anyone who hasn't shot, is to choose the correct environment. So where we went was an indoor range, had about 10 or 12 lanes. They offer a machine gun experience, which I didn't think about. They offer Barrett 50 cal shots as well. And I was used to it, so I didn't think from her perspective of how it was going to make her feel being at an indoor range. So I personally don't suggest taking someone who's a first-time shooter to an indoor range. I would much rather you take them to a safe desert location that your state allows you to shoot legally for free at, where you can be far away from people completely. Have it just be you, that person, and whoever else is in your group. A, you'll be able to talk and communicate. B, you can work at a slower pace, get the person comfortable with the firearm, and then proceed to the shooting portion. Then when there is firing of the weapon happening, it's only yours. It's not going to be multiple different things going off around you. Plus, you're not inside of a chamber, essentially, listening to all of this gunfire going off. So I apologize that was step one for you.
That's okay.
But I've learned from that experience. I've learned that, it's safer for you, safer for me, safer for everyone around us to take a first-time shooter out into the desert and learn that way. So looks like Mr. Jax is back. We're going to pull him up into the screen here too. So
Indeed. So I've been tracking. I had you on the good old cellular device, so I didn't miss shit.
Okay. If you can turn down the volume on your phone, I can hear some echo on my side. The reason why I brought Jonna into this conversation and into this portion of the live stream, like I said before, AirPods in, not paying attention, had to yell at her to get her attention. We're going to talk about something that Joe Biden said himself, right? I'm not going to try to pull up quotes or anything like that. Joe Biden stated that he wants to get rid of AR-15s, 14s, whatever, because of the 30-round clip and da-da-da-da-da, and has gone on record in videos and audio statements stating to women that it would be safer for you to get a double-barreled shotgun and put 2 blasts at the intruder than it would be to have an AR. So without you saying anything, Jax, I'm going to ask her a question because you've shot a pistol, you've shot rifles, you've shot the shotguns, you've shot the AR pistols, you've shot AK-47, you've shot multiple different firearms at this point in your life. And how old are you?
I'm 17.
Going on
18.
in a couple months. So congratulations to that. But the question I'm going to ask you is, out of all the firearms that you've shot, which one kicks the most?
The shotgun.
Why?
Mostly because it's a bigger rifle and it has more repercussion.
Repercussion. Recoil.
Yeah, whatever.
That's okay. Close. She was close. So,
Very close.
right. So you can Google or YouTube don't touch any of those guns, please, because in the live stream, cannot be touching guns. 12 gauge shotgun. That is the exact one that she shot. And it scared the crap out of her. It is a 12 gauge shotgun running 2 3/4 shells, low rim cartridges. So it's not like it was buckshot and, bird shot round, still kicked the crap out of her. She's 3'9". Just kidding. I'm going to get smacked. Don't you smack me. She ain't very tall. She don't weigh very much. That shotgun, she can barely hold it enough to actually shoulder it and shoot it, to where I cannot believe that man said on record that it would be safer for them to get a shotgun. So now, let me ask you, out of all of the firearms that you've shot, what is the most comfortable for you to hold, aim, be accurate with, and shoot without having a bunch of damage?
I would say the AR-15 that has the 22 rounds.
Okay, so good point. I do own a Smith & Wesson AR-15 22 LR Sport. And you're correct. 22 caliber, does not kick. It is an AR platform. So if it wasn't 22 LR and you still had to pick one, shotgun, AK, AR, what are you picking?
AR.
Why?
Mostly because the other rifles are heavy for me and the ARs are not.
Strike 2, Joe. Shotguns kick too hard. Other rifles too heavy. That's strike 2. When it comes to the ammo, when you're shooting, now let's say, because now we've eliminated the shotgun from the conversation. Shooting the AK, which is 7.62 by 39, and shooting the AR, regardless if it's my full size or an AR pistol variant, what is more comfortable to shoot?
Still, they are AR-15 with the 22 rounds.
Forget the 22. We're talking about the green one
5.56.
or the AK-47.
This one.
Don't touch it. The green one.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, I got his fourth strike. Okay.
Okay.
And it plays off of a meme. He wants to get rid of guns, right? You know, get rid of the AR-14s.
Yeah.
Well, I seen a meme that said, well, why would anybody need a gun? Well, let's see. I don't know. The last time an intruder broke into my house and, you know, I didn't use a gun, the robber needed therapy. I got, you know, sexually harassed charges, and, you know, it just went downhill from there. You're better off just using a gun.
Absolutely. So to make a point off of that, the other reason why I brought her over here is part of Joe Biden's plan is to remove firearms in its entirety, not just ARs. He wants to take away concealed carry. He wants to take away open carry. He wants to take away rifles. Right?
Good luck.
She's 17 years old. We live in Las Vegas, Nevada. Period. What do they call it? Sin City. Okay? They call it Sin City for a reason. Things don't always go as planned, and people aren't very nice most of the time. You'll find some nice people out there, but it's a totally different scenario when you look at it from the outside in.
Yeah.
I do not even want her leaving the house without carrying a knife on her because she's not legally old enough to open carry yet.
Well, and that, you know what, brother, I don't blame you. I mean, it'd be a little bit of a different scenario if you guys were up here. Then, whatever, not a big deal. You know, I mean, no, I'm not saying not a big deal as in shit still doesn't happen up here because it fucking does. But up here, you know, they got this thing called Minnesota nicer, eh, bud?
Don't you know?
Oh, you betcha. I'm just going up for a rip there, eh?
Absolutely. I don't want her being in fear for her life that she's going to get robbed, mugged, or anything else and not be able to defend herself. Yes, she'll still be able to carry a knife. Yes, she'll still be able to carry pepper spray. She's 5 foot and doesn't weigh very much. If a 6 foot male that weighs 240 walks up on her, regardless if she gets the knife out or not, do you think she really stands a chance?
No, that's okay. So I'm just gonna break this down here. You said about 6 foot, 240.
Right, it can be shorter, but I'm going to put one.
No, I'm about 6'1", $175.
Okay,
All
but I'm going
right.
to put them in perspective for you. She's also a black belt in Taekwondo.
Right.
Do you think she has a chance?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, if you're a black belt, you know, you got the self-defense training. Weapon or no weapon, doesn't matter. I'm 6 foot fucking one, $175. You're talking about a dude 6 foot, an inch shorter than me, and outweighing me by 40, 45 pounds, and
more.
No, if not more. And yes, I've got the military background training, but a guy my height without that, and she's a black belt, yeah, I don't give a fuck how tall you are, how big and bad you think you are. Good fucking luck.
Right. But the point I'm making is, even with her mixed martial arts background and stuff like that, it's the reality of the situation. If it's a life or death situation, if you or I'm I'm 5'5", 5'6", 260.
Depending on which convenience store you're leaving.
Right. 260. If I wanted to manhandle, regardless of how short I am, I could. Depending, obviously, on factors. But with someone her size, she don't stand a chance, regardless of the background that she has. If I get a hold of her, it's over. And same thing with a number of other women around. I would rather her be able to pull a firearm from a distance and say, stop, I have a firearm, I will shoot, and get the perpetrator to back off and leave, than to get into a hand-to-hand combat situation.
Oh yeah, tenfold, hands down, any day of the week.
Joe Biden wants to take that right away from her. Now, me,
It's not gonna
could I
happen,
go
bro.
without a gun? Absolutely. Could you go without a gun? Absolutely. Could she go without a gun? Absolutely. Should we have to?
No.
No.
But here's the thing. Rest assured, it ain't gonna happen. Shall not
No.
be infringed.
They're going to try, and they're going to
They're
keep
gonna
trying.
try, and guess what? They're gonna fail.
I agree.
Because
I agree.
here's the thing, if all of us pro Second Amendment as a community, I'm not talking just us as a brand, I'm talking the entire community out there. If we all come together, especially, you know, groups like NRA, you know, and USCCA and the USPSA, even though they're a competition league, they all have some fucking pull somewhere here or there down the fucking line.
Yeah.
In the community. But we all can stand up and say, look, you know, look at the fucking Constitution, read what it says. You really think you want to try to play this card right now?
Right.
Because I guarantee if he gets elected and tries to do that, he will be the fastest impeached president in fucking history.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Tenfold. I agree tenfold. But that's going to do it for tonight's show. We are going to go ahead and wrap this up. We've got 2 other topics that we're going to throw into next week's show. That one of them's got something to do with the NFAC. The other one's got something to do with store updates, which that will be updated again before the next live stream show. We may do an exclusive NFAC topic and an exclusive store update topic on the Minnesota Overlanders YouTube channel. Stay tuned for that. Other than that,